What's going on, YouTube? This is Hart Collects Comics. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. Back at you guys with another weekend video. It's Sunday morning. Enjoying a cup of coffee here, and gonna have some comic talk off the cuff. I had some dialogue recently with two different people on one of my past videos. Comments that had to do with speculation and stuff like that. One is a great guy, Steve Watson. We always have some great dialogue. On my last video that I did where I showed off my Amazing Spider-Man 129, he commented, you could see some of the dialogue there, but I thought that it would be a good idea to just briefly talk a little bit about speculation, how I kind of think of it. It's a very, very small percentage of what I collect, but part of me in the back of my mind always says, do I really want to miss that next Walking Dead? Recently, a 9.9 copy sold for over $20,000 on eBay. I wrote a short piece on this for EntertainmentBuddha.com. And it was just interesting to see that a single comic book sold for the price of a car, essentially. And now, granted, the odds that people are going to go out there and pick up any of these books that I'll briefly talk about today and have a 9.9 and it will end up yielding such a great return down the line, it's not necessarily the odds are in our favor. But that said, sometimes you can pick up some of these books that I'll show off for $9, $10, and you say to yourself, if I could pick up a copy or two, even if you don't have a desire to read it, you'll thank yourself later if it does end up taking off. And so I've done a very, very small amount of this, but I have done some interesting reading and things that I've come across that have aided me in some of my decision making. So as we all know, not every comic book is going to end up having the success of a Walking Dead #1. That book came out in 2003, and there were only 7,266 copies. That's a very low print run. Anything under 10,000 is deemed low print run. This, I think, might even be considered ultra low. And that book now sells for $1,000 to $2,000, just a raw copy, not even graded or autographed. So, it's a combination of that, a book that was kind of a sleeper in some regards, low first print run for the first issue, less than 10,000 copies, and a combination of a successful TV program. Some of these shows might come out and they'll end up flopping. Constantine is a great example of that, a cool character who went to the wrong station, in my opinion. Some of these things I think are better geared towards the Netflix environment where there's a little bit more that you can do. But Constantine ended up getting canceled. Now, I think that they're still using the character in some of the other, like Flash or whatever, but, his show got canceled. So in regards to some of these books here, just keep in mind that, I'm not recommending that people go out and buy these things. This was just something that I felt like doing. It's, again, you'll see here that a lot of what I'm going to show off, for the most part, they are relatively modest in price. And again, it's just something that I do for fun. I enjoy collecting various things. And, again, I'm not recommending or suggesting that any of these things are going to end up being worth tremendous amounts of money, but they are deemed speculation books. And, if you can pick up a copy for a good price, then why wouldn't you buy it, So, one of the first spec books that I got was Outcast #1. A lot of people ended up thinking that, oh, well, he did it with, The Walking Dead, he'll do it again. This, I think, got a show option for, I don't know, Showtime, Cinemax. I'm not really sure. I'm not into this book. I bought it strictly for speculation purposes. It's signed by the artist, Paul Azaceta. Azaceta, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, and Robert Kirkman, 9.6. I got a really good price on this. And my thinking was, if it ends up taking off and being now, this had a high print run, because by the time this book came out, Robert Kirkman had already been established as an industry leader in the sense of writing. So this had over 40,000. There's a print run, Outcast #1 print run, 71,788, substantially higher than The Walking Dead. So, this isn't necessarily a book that will, yes, there might be some profit that could be yielded if you were buying these at cover price, but there are a lot of them out there and a lot of them graded. I got another one recently just for the hell of it. I wanted a 9.8 because, I figured it was a modern book. Why not grab one at 9.8? This one here is 9.6, the signed one. But this here is 9.8 CBCS. I got this for under $50, and it's already graded. So again, if it ends up being a successful television series and it ends up being very popular, it will go up in price. But I don't think it will go up in the same height as Walking Dead #1, because again there was a difference in the print run. This here has over 70,000. So just keep that in mind. But again, I got these for what I thought were reasonable in price. Again, this one here I got for less than $50 with shipping, and I said, why not? So, again, going on to some more modern stuff that's out. One of the books that looks like it's being potentially picked up for a television series. It's in talks. I don't think anything is solid yet, but it's something from Boom Studios called Daemon. I got 2 near mint copies of this for probably, I think, $14 total, along with another book I'm going to show in a second, pardon the glare there. But these are absolutely solid copies, 9.8 no question. And again, I got both of these for $14, along with another book that I paid $9 for, which I'll show you in a second. So this had an ultra low print run, Daemon, from Boom Studios. Print run of 7,968, and it sells for $10 to $15 apparently on eBay, give or take. I got both of them for $14. And, apparently it has a pretty cool, it's another vampire storyline, but apparently this one has some fresh twists, they say. And this might be something that you might see down the line. So, and if it doesn't, it's not like a tremendous amount of money was lost. I didn't go out and buy 100 of these. I bought 2, So again, a lot of, what you do within if you are going to try to get books for speculation purposes or even collecting purposes, you have to work within a budget and, not try to exceed that. This one here, Mayday, which is from Black Mass Studios, which have put out a lot of good stuff in 2015. This here article in the Hollywood Reporter says that it's going to end up being picked up for a television series. Now, I didn't buy this just for that. Another reason why I bought this was because it has a fantastic cover from Alexis Zarette, who does some beautiful artwork. I was a big fan of his artwork for the Space Riders series. And, this was a beautiful cover, so I picked this up. He sold with the 2 Daemon books. This one was $9, a variant cover. And again, I bought this primarily because I thought that the cover was sick. It's got like a 3D trippy effect. And so the character in this book is a washed up Hollywood screenwriter with some serious drug addiction issues. And, apparently he discovers a satanic cult that's going to try to bring about Armageddon by sacrificing people around Los Angeles. And he finds himself on the path to stop the cultists, but at the same time begins to wonder if the whole thing is just a product of his drug hallucinations. So it sounds like it has a kind of TV story, a story that would be fit for TV, because I think people would like that kind of stuff. I'm not necessarily into Hollywood screenwriting and whatever, but seems like an interesting storyline. And so apparently this is in talks to be adapted for a scripted TV series. And so again, I bought 1 copy for about $9, and the primary incentive for me was that I'm a fan of the artist for this particular book. So what else? I got also here. This has been a guy who I've been reading more of in 2016, and it's Jim Starlin's Dreadstar, which has also been optioned for a television series, a cable network or streaming service of some kind. Again, I don't know when this is supposed to be coming out. This was news for came out about a year ago. What's interesting about this particular series is that Jim Starlin it's not just his character that's going to be used for a potential television series. Hold on just 1 second here. But he's going to be involved in the writing as well. Hold on just one second. I have a website here that I was reading that I wanted to share with you. Bear with me just one second. Yeah, so it says here that Starlin is actually going to be a part of the creative process behind Dreadstar. Starlin, who also created the formerly sidelined Guardians of the Galaxy, will be on the board not just as an executive producer, but also the writer, or at least one of the writers. But why would they even let anyone else in on this? And that's just the person who wrote. This is from Cinema Blend, and this was a Epic Comics first series, Dreadstar, and then they started doing a few other things as well, but this was their premiere issue. And I've read this issue. Dreadstar is an interesting character. I didn't go too deep into the series. I have a reader's copy of this, which I read. And I also am in the process of reading this. I'll probably have this done this weekend. This is a Marvel Books, Dreadstar. I believe it's Marvel Books number 3 or book 3, yeah. So, the story starts off about, how he ends up on this planet with these weird cat-like creatures, and he meets the only human on that planet is a girl named Delilah, who kind of starts to take care of him as he is, because he gets there and he's kind of like in bad shape. But anyway, this is written by Jim Starlin, and the beautiful thing is that this entire book, the inside, it's painted. So Jim Starlin not only wrote this, but it's painted artwork. It's absolutely gorgeous. I want to show you a quick picture here. This is the very first page. But this is pretty cool because, again, it's the whole book is painted. So anyway, this is being optioned for a television series. The guy, I saw a lot of 9.6 copies that weren't autographed that were going for around $100, some a little bit more. This guy had wanted 80 for it, had a best offer. I made him an offer for 60. I got this, came with free shipping, and so, I'm not necessarily, this might be something I keep for my own personal collection because Jim Starlin is a fantastic storyteller. So, it's not just about the artwork. Well, that's also important, but there's just great stories, that this guy did. So if the thing takes off and it ends up being something that, I feel that the potential gain will outweigh the $60 that I paid for it, then perhaps. But again, speculation is not something that a lot of people enjoy doing because, they think of the days with Image, and I ended up as a young kid, not really buying Image number ones, The Pit, Max, and all that other stuff, and the hope that I would someday rich. But there was like a little kid instinct in me that was like, wow, someday these might be worth a lot of money, and even though that they're not. But, there was never a point where, tremendous amounts of money were spent in an effort to reap stock market type rewards, down the line. So a lot of this is just for fun. Some of these might be great reads. I haven't read Daemon, but maybe I will. I'm not, again, I bought these specific, I have other things that I desire to read more, and along the way in my collecting, if I find, hey, $5-10 for a certain book, why not? And, this one here, again, is autographed by Kirkman and the artist, Paul Azzetta. So anyway, thanks for watching my video, guys. At the end of the day, when it comes to collecting, collect what you like. I just thought that, I give my 2 cents on the topic of speculation. And again, all of these things, you just have to have common sense and do with with reasonable thinking. And that's pretty much it. Hope that you guys are all doing well out there in the YouTube community. And I'll check you guys down the line.